Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God in Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka amahara ni kamutsumaru Kamuromi kamuromi no mikoto mochite Sumeni oya kamu izanagi no mikoto Tsukushi no kimuka no tachi hana no Odono ahari harani Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimasenu Harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magagoto tsumike gare o Arai tamae kiyome tamae toma o sukoto no yoshi o Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorosu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuchi koma no mimi purita tete hikoshi mese to kashikomi mo maosu Miroku o mikami mahori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami mahori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mahori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mahori tamae saki hae tamae Kamnagara tamachi haemase Kamnagara tamachi haemase Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving joy. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Meishu-sama, bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. I have been blessed. God has renewed my life. I must give of myself in service to express my gratitude for this wonderful blessing. Despite all the clouds accumulated on my spiritual body in the past, God, through his great love, has abundantly blessed me. God, please accept my gift, a heartfelt token of my love and devotion, insignificant in comparison to all the blessings I have received. The expression peace of mind is understood by many people only as it relates to the mind. But this thinking is not accurate. Peace of mind is, in truth, must include material aspects of life. After all, if we had but one of the three great misfortunes, sickness, poverty, or conflict, how could we attain peace of mind? When we can say with confidence, I have no worries of becoming sick in my entire lifetime, and there is no chance of my being poor or of becoming involved in discord, then we can have real peace of mind. The fundamental cause of all these problems is an imbalance between one's spirit and body. Therefore, it is impossible to attain true peace of mind unless we have both a sound mind and a sound body. I hereby guarantee and declare that anybody can obtain through receiving Johrei and practicing the teachings of our spiritual movement a sound mind and a sound body, and eventually achieve peace of mind.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service with the Miroku Association. First, I'd like to share a faith experience of Giovanna Oliveira, who has been blessed by the miracles of Johrei, the practice of our faith. Before Giovanna met our church, she was a difficult person to deal with. She was always unhappy with with her life and constantly harbored negative thoughts. When she received Johrei for the first time in June 2019, through a Johrei friend who took her to a Johrei center, she experienced great relief, peace, and joy. She began to attend the Johrei center regularly, and everything started to change within her. She became a more positive, optimistic person and learned the importance of expressing gratitude under any circumstances, both the good and the seemingly negative things. She was blessed to become a member in October 2019. She began to channel Johrei to her children and grandson and to dedicate weekly at the Johrei Center. She had a beauty salon, and whenever clients. In February of last year, her city entered a state of calamity due to heavy rains. Many houses were invaded by water, and bridges were destroyed. Her house, where the hair salon was also installed, was flooded and full of mud from the overflowing river. She, her children, son-in-law, and grandson of only 2 months had to leave in a hurry. As a result, she lost many material goods and had no place to live and work. However, with God's protection, her family was safe. They were soon blessed to rent another house, but this one had no room for the hair salon. She kept her faith in God and Meishu-sama, confident that something positive would happen. Thus, she continued dedicating and channeling Johrei to her family. After about a month, a friend who owns a company with her husband in the field of beauty products called Giovanna to be part of her team. This invitation filled her with gratitude and joy. She had the opportunity to take several courses online and improve herself. Thus, a moment of great concern for her and her family turned out to be an opportunity for professional growth. In the same period, quarantine had begun as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Consequently, the Johrei Center temporarily interrupted face-to-face activities. She then decided to dedicate at home. She channeled Johrei to family members, attended online services, and practiced reading Meishu-sama's teachings. Even in the face of tribulations, she didn't let herself get carried away by negative thoughts or whining. She understood that if something apparently negative happened, it was to cleanse her spiritual clouds and give her strength. And that, without a doubt, after that period of purification, good and positive things would come. Throughout 2020, she was blessed to guide her son, daughter, and son-in-law to become Johrei members. At the end of last year, she was able to rent a commercial space and reopen her beauty salon, which has been thriving to this day. She left her friend's company with a heart full of gratitude for having helped her in a time of great difficulty. Giovanna expressed her appreciation to God and Meishu-sama for the blessings received, and mainly for having become a selfless, spiritualist, grateful person and trusting the divine will. Her commitment is now to guide as many people as possible to receive Johrei and become happy, just as she became. There was a nice experience from Giovanna, and I have been blessed too. I have been blessed to grow up in a Johrei family. When I was 2 years old, my sister, who was going through a digestive problem for more than a year, no help from doctors or pharmacists, although my mother was taking her to some medical treatment, nothing was helping her. So my sister then started receiving Johrei. A neighbor introduced us to Johrei, and after 3 weeks of receiving every day, my sister got completely healed. That was in 1965. So that's how my family first got involved with Johrei. But this was not enough for my mother to get inspired to become a member. She wanted to observe very deeply, and she volunteered. She participated in the services, read the first publications that became available in Portuguese on those days. And then after 3 years of intense dedication, she finally decided to become a member in 1968. The year after, my two sisters followed my mother, and they also became members in 1969. I became a member, in, received the child locket in 1970. In 1974, I received the adult Ohikari. So my father was the last one in the family to become a member. Although we experienced many blessings, those health situations that improved, the financial situation in our home improved, harmony between her and my father improved. So there were so many blessings. But then something drastic had to happen for my father to wake up. So before he became a member, so he was not receiving Johrei. He was not interested until one day he collapsed in his office, in his work, collapsed with an ulcer. It was a severe case, and he had to be taken to the hospital. He almost died. The doctor said that was a miracle that he was, alive when he got to the hospital. And in the process, he received many Johrei. That was the thing that inspired him. Regardless that the rest of the family, my mother, sisters, and myself became members, that was not enough. But the many Johrei members went to give him Johrei. That touched him deeply to see how committed people were. And they were going every day to give him Johrei. So through that, so he recovered and decided to become a Johrei member, 1974. After a few months when I became a member. Then 1977, we had the blessing of receiving a home altar, and a year later, 1978, the home ancestors altar. So with all these blessings, we were able to open our home for people to come to receive Johrei, because in our neighborhood there was no Johrei center nearby. So there was opportunity of all those who were getting to know Johrei to have a place where they could receive light, they could receive Johrei. And our home was always filled with social activities. There was always a party going on and whatnot. So many friends would stop by, my friends, my sister's friends. And one day this funny thing happened, because I was giving Johrei to my mother, and one of these friends of my sister came. He is now the brother of my brother-in-law. But anyway, I was giving Johrei to my mother. So he came by and saw me with my hand raised like this. So he actually came and touched my hand and said, "What are you doing? Are you drying your nails? Did you polish your nails and you're drying them up?" I said, "Hey, don't touch this. This is sacred. I'm praying for my mother." "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this was a prayer. It was something that I hadn't seen before." Yeah, this is Johrei. "Oh, this is interesting." So he started asking questions about it, because we always had that, Johrei and also prayers. I remember my neighbor friends when they would come to play with me, because I was 11, 12 at that time, and we had already our the age of 13. We had our altar, and I would invite him. "Oh, would you like to to pray with us. We have the evening service here at home, and then there's this prayer in Japanese. So you can just follow with me. So I would show him the prayer book, and he would do that. He probably thought that was funny, but anyway, that how our home was filled with prayers and Johrei, and until today, my mother, my sisters, I have nephews. They are all active, some more than others, and my mother has an altar, as I mentioned. My sister also has an altar in her home. My other sister is a Sangetsu instructor, and she's applying to have a home altar in her home as well. So that's just wonderful that the light in our family is spreading throughout these years, many years, like I said, first starting 1965. And what we also felt very, thrilled that cousins of ours, that they are not Johrei members, but they know of our strong involvement. And because there is the sacred grounds of Guarapiranga in Brazil, and that's the city in São Paulo where my family live. So they have visited some of them, the Guarapiranga sacred grounds. Some by our direct invitation, and some others by intervenience of the spiritual realm. For instance, one of my cousins started dating a girl who was a Johrei member. And then she invited him to go to the Guarapiranga, and he was also thrilled with the beauty, with the power over there. Although he didn't become a Johrei member, but he started understanding more why we were so involved. Anyway, those were the blessings of my family. I have been blessed, like the teaching was telling us today. This is what I would like to share with you, and wish you a very wonderful day. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed day.